Alright, so today we have Wakanda payload. So this is an interesting map in the sense that there's really not too many places where you can kind of hide them. The roofs up here, you can't put the BRBs on. But, you know, there's the common spots that everyone knows about. This one right here in the bush is a very common one when you're on attack, especially. As it's usually not found too much, they have to peek around the corner to kind of get it, and the bush kind of hides it. Otherwise, another spot I like to do, especially on attack, is going into this room and throwing one in here. Again, a lot of players don't tend to push through here. The attacking side tends to try to do this to get the high ground. So throwing it, you know, over here or behind behind the stairs there, once you get the control you need, is very good. Now, on the other thing, once you take the site and start to get onto it, again, not too many good places. You can throw one in this room instead of in that corner, so whoever's on site can get back faster. But the more interesting thing, especially about this first one, is definitely where you can hide them afterwards. Before we get into that, though, I do want to talk about the Spider-Man rollout, because Rocket can actually do the same thing. Just a little different. So basically, you come out here just like Spidey does, and you can go up this rock here and zoom right around past. And then if no one sees you over here, something you can do, especially on attack, that might be beneficial, is to go up, climb this wall, go back over here, and then you can place one back here. No one's usually playing in this spot specifically. They're usually taking the high ground here. So if one of your flankers or tanks is really deep in, you can do this to get them behind them onto the high ground. Another good spot on attack is up here, behind this corner. This is one no one really sees coming, and again, if your team is coming from this angle, this can be very good to get them in. Now on the defensive side, there's even less spots, if I'm honest. A really, really simple one is just back here. Again, the enemy team would have to push in or flank around to get to it. And then obviously up here, same thing. They just have to get the high ground to take it. Usually when I play Rocket on this map, tends to be where I play, is on this bridge, because it gives you a lot of room to maneuver and back up if need be. Another spot I like to use on attack a lot, or on defense a lot, is up here. Now this will be destroyed at some point, but before then, putting it back in this corner, even once it is destroyed, if Rocket has enough damage to actually destroy it, come on, Rocket, you can do it, buddy. There you go. But in general, like, that's a very good one that a lot of people don't try to take that high ground because it can get destroyed. So it's very good in that case. Otherwise, you don't have too many more options. You can put one behind this corner as well. It does the same. It accomplishes the same thing there. However, especially when you're playing Rocket in the position over here, you will get pushed back here, and they will find it during that moment. But again, behind this wall is usually your best bet. Up there is very good on defense. Now, once the payload is actually gotten, there's actually a couple of spots after that that are really interesting. Once the payload starts pushing up on attack, you can throw it in this room. This is a decent place. No one tends to go in here at all, so throwing it around that corner is good. Your team's respawn's up there, so it's not like the most necessary thing, but it is definitely an option. Another one I like to do is up here. It's a bit of a riskier one, but if you can throw it in these bushes here, again, unless you're dealing with a flying character, they're not really going to see that from around the corner unless they are, like, playing way back here. Another safer one, though, that no one really knows about is up here. If you destroy this and it goes away, you can, one, throw it anywhere on this roof. Now, if they have the high ground over there, which they probably do, they're going to see it. However, you can throw it back here as well. Again, as always with most of these, don't always use like the hidden ones, but sometimes it's useful to do. Again, they can see it from over there. Another one, once the payload starts to push about right here, I like to throw one in this back corner behind this wall here. Because what that does is, again, they can't get it unless they push in. And this is a good fallback position for your team. Also, throwing it up here is a decent thing. Sometimes flankers will come through here, but if you destroy this vise, if it'll go away, You can put one in this corner, and it does the same. It accomplishes basically the same thing, but it's a lot harder to get to. On the defensive side, obviously, once they're pushing up, just kind of the opposite things. That roof one is much better on the defensive side since they don't have the high ground to play off of. And then, obviously, hiding it behind the corners and such, putting it in this room with this health pack can be good, putting it behind here. That's the thing with a lot of these BRB spots, especially on this map in particular. A lot of it you're just trying to use to hold your ground, but you also want to keep it hidden. You can also throw one over here in the rollout position for Spider-Man as well. And lastly, on the last point, this is the slightly more interesting ones. So, again, once the payload pushes here, there's really no need to put one down too close since the respawn is right over there on attack. What I do like to do is once the payload pushes into the room and gets to the stairs, I like to come back here to this room and throw one in this corner. A lot of people throw it down here, which is fine and works, but most people don't come in this room anyways. So it can be a very good thing, as well as it's a position a lot of players don't expect to be shot from. Once it gets past those stairs is when you kind of want to worry about that one, but that will still get them for the most part. And that's really the only BRB you need for this site is either there or down there. If things do start to get hairy, you do start to get pushed in, you can put it in this corner here. No one's really going to find it. Under these stairs, I don't recommend. And obviously, if it's really, really getting bad, just throw it back a little bit further. But at that point, you're getting pushed back into your spawn, and there's no need. Now, this final room, there's two things that can happen. If the fog is showing up, you can throw one back here, and it often won't get found. You can also throw it up in this room as well, and it won't get found. And obviously, throwing it back here. Because once you're pushed up here, the flankers won't be able to get to this position most of the time, especially if your team is putting the pressure on. After that point, there's not too many places. The thing about the Wakanda payload, while I enjoy this map, especially for Rocket, a lot of the BRB spots are very, very familiar and simple, which isn't a bad thing, but it does lead to a lack of creativity a bit. Also, you can throw it under here. And again, they can't really shoot it unless they push up, so it's not terrible. The problem with this one is that the armor packs will be seen, and they will be able to find it. But yeah, as always, guys, I hope you guys enjoy. I know this one was a bit simpler, and they're probably going to be like that because I've done some of the more interesting maps like Spider Island and such. But, I'm glad to get the information out there. And to the people saying that I'm giving these away so they can use them against the Rocket players, good! I'm glad. I hope more people go looking for the BRBs. It's one of the problems I have with people playing against Rocket. But in any case, I love you guys. Have a good one, and bye.